Shaja or Shazia. Shazia. They're from Pakistan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pakistan and did Pakistan and India used to be just one country? No. All right, let's forget about I asked them. Yeah.
It wasn't in history.
There. But of course, you're like cousins, right? You look like each other. You speak the same. Well, some of you speak the same language. Right. There you go. Shazia, welcome. And I hope you enjoy your stay. And of course, we have Nasser and Rafat. There. Yes. I said them correctly. TTUTJ. You know what? I've been curious about that. What does that stand for? Do you like to use the mic? There, you have a mic here. But you have to stand up to get to the mic.
This refers to the territories under the jurisdiction of the Palestinian Authority.
I see. There you have. And thank you, Rafat. You know what? When we're talking about physical characteristics, you have similarities with Kafaji. So do you speak the same language? Both Arabs. There you go. All right. And of course, we have, am I saying this correctly? Kin Cho Cho. And of course, your first name is Kin. Right? What a cute name. There are also nicknames here in the Philippines, like Kin. Myanmar. You are also called as Burma, right? There. And what is Myanmar's capital city? There, Yangon, there. I thought it's not, I think it's now different, right? It used to be that. There you go. Now it's, yeah, it used to be Yangon, but they changed it to that one, she said right now. Yeah. Of course, I want to be careful because I don't know how to pronounce it, so I just refer to it like that. That one, she said just now. All right, and of course we have Noor Fitrinija Modroni. And how would you like me to call you? Fitri. There you go. From Malaysia. You know what? I spoke at an event the last time. I think it was a week ago. And it's a company owned by Malaysians. There. So I just shared it there. So Fitri from Malaysia. Of course, Kuala Lumpur. And that's Kuala Lumpur is where the Petronas Tower is, right? No, actually towers because it's two towers, right? The tallest, is it the tallest in Asia only or the tallest in the world? In Asia only, I see. So welcome, Fitri. There. Do I still have to finish this? They look like they're not appreciating it. All right, okay. All right, and then we have, last but not least, we have Azimawati, right? And would you like me to call you by a different name? Azima, there, just a shortened version of it. So you just remove the Wati. All right, from Malaysia as well. So there you go. Okay, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to get to know you more. And I hope that we have a wonderful time together. Do you think we're gonna have a great time together? Alright. Okay, so welcome to our Train the Trainer. I was advised earlier that you guys are the best of the best. You guys are experts in your trade. And I'm not gonna question that anymore. I'm not gonna focus on that anymore. Because you are great at what you do or what you know of. But what I'm just going to focus instead is making sure that you back up your great knowledge, your wide experience with equally wide or great training skills as well. So please look forward to that. Of course, Module 1, getting started. So earlier we talked about what time you need to be at the training. Also, we talked about it is very important and helpful as well that you get to know more about your participants Because in any training, the trainer is like the leader, and then the audience is like what? I don't want to use the term subordinate. The reason why I'm not a fan of the word subordinate is it's like a master-slave relationship. I'd rather have leaders call their people or their employees or their staff, however you call it, business partners or teammates. There. Are those better words? Teammates. It's like we're in this together. Instead of calling them subordinates. It's not a master-slave relationship, right? Yeah. Pretty much like in training. The trainer might be here in front. The trainer might know more about the topic. The trainer might be the one, although I wouldn't like this to be a monopoly. So later on, I will be engaging everyone. I will be involving you. We will apply or demonstrate as we learn. So I hope that everybody becomes cooperative. You know what? The success of the trainer does not only depend on himself. It also depends on whether the audience participates or not. So I might look as energetic as I want to be, right? Okay, good morning everyone. I hope you enjoy your stay. But my participants look like this. Is this guy crazy? Where did you guys get this from? There. So it has to be what? A give and take relationship. It has to be a collaborative experience. Not just the trainer talking and then the participants just sitting and then not enjoying at all. Okay? So welcome to your trainer workshop. Whether you are preparing to be a professional trainer or you are someone who does a bit of training as a part of his job, you'll want to be prepared for the training that you do. Is that good or bad? I read the entire slide. Is that good? No, it's not. Alright? Because your PowerPoint presentation, each slide of your PowerPoint presentation is only a visual aid. Because if you're just going to read what it says on the slides, then I think it's better that they didn't hire you or pay you anymore. Right? It's better that they just get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, take it home, and read it themselves. Right? So it's not a good practice, so hopefully you don't do that. Alright. Now, this is the first time that I'm going to engage you. Actually, some trainers don't like this anymore. Having the participants read, because they think that it only happens in kindergarten, right? But I just want to make sure that this early, I get to involve you. So is it okay if I have volunteers? By the way, let me clarify that. I am asking for volunteers, not volunteers who will volunteer somebody else. You get the difference? Right? I volunteer her. Alright? So, who would like to read the first bullet? The first line.
I volunteer.
Okay. Nobody volunteered, so I will volunteer myself. Okay. The first is define training, facilitating, and presenting. All along, people have thought that they're all the same. But they're not. And later on, we're going to differentiate the three terms. Training, facilitating, and presenting. Second, understand how to identify participants' training needs. I was told that here, you don't have to develop or design modules anymore. The modules are already there at your disposal. Is that right? You just have to teach it. You just have to present it. You just have to train them about it. You just have to facilitate a program about it, whatever the situation calls for. Next, create a lesson plan or a training plan. It goes by different names. It's just merely, how you call it. That incorporates the range of learning preferences. So we're going to talk about that too. Because you can't just judge how your participants want to learn by just looking at them. It's being what? It's being assumptive. It's being kind of biased as well. Garoma looks like she's analytical. because she looks very quiet. And then you're talking out loud, and then they can hear it, right? All right. And then, all of a sudden, you realize that she's not analytical. She's something else. She's actually a driver. And then, by looking at Rafat over there, Rafat looks talkative. He looks talkative. And then, when you get to know him more, he doesn't talk at all. You see, it's wrong to assume in training. So the best way to do that is, well, there are many ways. But prior to this training, you were advised that you could fill out this profile questionnaire online. Did you get to do that? I heard that you've come across problems doing it. You know, filling out your LDP, the Leading Dimensions Profile questionnaire online. That's one way. If you have questionnaires like that, there are different questionnaires. Different companies already come out with different versions of questionnaires, profiling questionnaires. But whatever you make use of, it doesn't really matter. What's much more important is that the trainer gets to know about his participants, even if it is something as simple as the VAC learning styles or learning preferences. Who among you is familiar with VAC? I think it's always changed to VARC. They included reading. May I know? Show of hands. Who among you here knows VAC? Well, VAC is actually, it stands for visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So what it simply tells us that not all participants or learners are visual. Meaning they learn best by, the word itself, visualizing or seeing. And we're going to talk about that later. There are some participants who learn best by listening. They're called auditory learners. And there are some participants who don't appreciate just merely looking at the trainer and his presentation or listening to the beautiful voice of the trainer. Don't worry, I'm not referring to myself. Okay, I'm just giving an example. All right? What they would appreciate is getting or being given the chance to move, being given the chance to apply. Let's go ahead and apply what we want to learn in this training. We want simulations. We want role plays. Involve us, please. Don't just be the one talking and us sitting down and listening. Involve us. We don't want to be sitting there. Those are the game. Kinesthetic learners. They learn best by applying, by moving. They're very practical learners, highly practical learners, actually. So we're going to talk about that. Create an active, engaging learning environment. I'm not going to force myself to make you guys appreciate what I'm going to do from here until the end of this training, but it's just about me demonstrating what you need to know. So what have I been doing? I am trying my best to involve you, engage you. What does engaging mean? Anyone? You know what? When participants don't raise their hands right away, when they don't want to speak up right away, sometimes it helps if you have what we call positive reinforcements. Are you familiar with positive reinforcements? Positive reinforcements are anything that supports the training or encourages the trainers to retain what is being learned.